Hey folks, get my feet set up here. Today we are going to learn Angelina Baker. This is also known as lesson number 40 in the series that I teach to my group lessons at the YMCA in Brown County, Indiana. Okay, once again, as always, go to karabarner.com if you're not a regular student of mine and you want to get a copy of what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I'm going to start off nice and slow. I've already got the metronome set on 76. So what I want you to do is I want you to play this simple version along with me. And then as you're practicing it on your own over and over again, take your metronome or your click track or whatever device you're using, slowly speed it up, right? Speed it up each time. Every time you play it perfectly at that speed, speed it up a little bit more. When you start hitting the wall and you can no longer play it clean and perfectly at that speed, then back it up and start challenging that number that seems to be giving you a headache, if that makes sense. Okay? So here's the simple version of Angelina Baker. We're playing all of our melody notes on the middle string with this. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Section. Here comes that 7. Last line. Repeat the last 2 lines. Okay, now we're going to slow this down just a smidge. We're going to do the slightly advanced version, okay? On the slightly advanced version, basically what you're doing is you're dressing up by adding a few eighth notes. I also want to say while I'm thinking of it, in that first version, let's turn this off for a second. In that first version, at any point in time, instead of just doing a single strum, you can turn that single strum into a ditty anytime that it feels natural for you. Our goal with both of these versions is to be able to play them really up to speed and just sort of fly by the seat of our pants, add 2 eighth notes to replace a quarter note anytime we feel it. Likewise, play just a quarter note when I've suggested eighth notes. It's just, I want you to feel really free when you're playing this, okay? Okay, so the slightly advanced version, there's really no terribly huge surprises here. On the third measure, that's where it starts to differ from the first version. We go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we play a G chord, which is what I call an inverted G, where you've got your 3 on your bass string. Okay, notice I just did a boom ditty on that. It's written 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to expect my advanced students to put some ditties in there in place of some of the single note quarter note strums, okay? Where does it get interesting? The very last line, no, I take that back. It happens before that. In the second line down, in the third measure, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So you're going to do that inverted G, but you're going to come up here, starting with a 5 and the 3, okay? I think you can see my hand. You're going to take that 5, 3, keep those fingers in the same position, slide them down to the 3, 1. Ba, da, okay? Any other surprises? The only other surprise is that that happens again in the second to the last measure of the second section. All right, so keep your eyes peeled. We're slowing this down just a smidge, a tidge, just a. Let me get this thing going again. Words are hard. Okay, a little bit slower. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Here comes the next section. Notice that I'm putting some ditties in there. Let's repeat that section. Here's the 4. Okay. Now, with those, what I call inverted G's, the 3 and the 1, with the 3 on your bass, what you need to do is if you come out of that third measure of the slightly advanced version into that 3-1 and you're having trouble getting to it, this is what you need to practice. 3-1, take your hand completely off your dulcimer, spread your fingers out, 3-1. Every time you go to that 3-1, I want you to go slowly enough to where your fingers go exactly where you want them on the fretboard, okay? I can't stress that enough. This is a make or break situation for you. If you're having trouble getting that 3-1 down and you do this exercise over and over again a few times, I guarantee you it will make that a lot easier for you. Now, one of the toughest spots is down there at the very last line. You're going to go 2, 1, 5, 3, okay? So I would practice that. You don't even have to strum it. 2, 1, 5, 3. 2, 1, 5, 3. And I'm not sure if I'm being consistent with my fingering, but you need to be consistent with your fingering. In other words, don't go middle finger, ring finger, 5, 3, and then go 1 and 2 and 5, 3. Decide how you're going to do it and repeat that over and over again. That'll fix the problem. I guarantee it. Okay, let's talk about the slow and thoughtful intro, which I'm sometimes I like to do because it gives us a chance to work on some different things with one song. We get to do a slow, thoughtful thing. We're gonna, in this case, we're gonna practice some of our pull-offs, and it gives us a chance to play those first 2 versions really fast and get practiced up on our speed playing. Okay, so Angelina Baker, slow and thoughtful intro. I have not warmed up on this. I am not going to lie. There's a couple of spots that throw me. Even though I wrote this myself, sometimes I write things that are not very intuitive to play. If I look at the second line, the 7 and the 5, then I go down to a 6 plus 4, then I go down to a 4, 3, 0. Okay, that's not so bad. 7, 5, 6 plus 4, 4, 3. I'm going to use the same 2 fingers to get all that done, so I can just take it down. Ba-da-da. Okay? Then right after that, I've got a 5, 4, which is going to be a really cool move. We'll isolate that in just a second. third line down, where the second section of the song, the B section, starts, we got a 3 and a 4. This is the part that's twisty for me. 3 and 4, down to a 2, and then a 2, like that. So it's sort of almost like I have a dyslexic moment when I see that measure, and I see it as a 3 and a 4, and the 1 and the 2 like that, but it's not. It's a 3 and a 4 like this, da, da, and then it twists, ba, da. Okay, that's a weird moment. Watch out for that. Fourth line down, second measure, 3-1, 4-2, 5-3. That should be pretty much of a piece of cake. We have a little break there right before we have to do that twisty thing again. 3-0-4 or 0-3-4, 2-0-2-1. That moment happens again right there. Then on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth line down, we're going to go double fives to a 4 to a 4-3. 3-5, 4, 1, boom. So there's lots of this kind of stuff going on. So just really keep your eyes peeled and make sure to make notes on what fingers you want to play certain notes on here, because that's the kind of thing that if you're not careful about that, that'll bite you like a snake in the grass. If you're all of a sudden you're using a different fingering and it's not physically possible to get where you're going next, watch out for those moments and mark on your paper what fingers you need to use so that you don't have moments like that. Okay, I'm going to do this without the metronome to begin with so I can kind of talk you through it. I'm going to play the first A part all the way through, and then we're going to go back and look at that second line last measure together because it can be really fun. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I'm leaving my 5 down. Okay, so my whole idea behind this arrangement, slow and thoughtful, is to have you all practice that whole notion that I'm always preaching on, leaving a finger down until you need it somewhere else. This is a perfect example on that first line. I knock those 5s in, and I'm just leaving that 5 down the whole time, okay? Watch that again, okay? Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play it like that, we get what I refer to as a cascading effect where the notes are just sort of rolling over each other, okay? Now when we go to the second line, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you and then we'll back up. Second line, 3, 4. Pull off, okay? Now, for those of you who have never really practiced your pull-offs a whole lot, I would advise you to go back to some of the lessons where we've just talked strictly about hammer-ons and pull-offs and review that. I know on at least a couple of occasions I've given you lessons just on hammer-ons and pull-offs, so pull that sheet out and review it, okay? If you're having difficulty with your hammer-ons and pull-offs, you absolutely don't have to pull off on these notes, okay? But it's a pretty cool sound if you do. Now, the last measure of line 2, that's where things get really interesting because we pick a note, we pick another note, we pick a note, and then we pull off of a note that we've played a couple of beats ago, all right? So it sounds like this. I'm going to play the very last measure of the second line. Watch what happens. 5, 4, 5, pull off, swing my middle finger over, in this case, to the 5, and then I pull that 5 off. Did you see how I did that? I didn't touch that string at all. Okay? Watch that again. 5, pull off the 4, reach for the 5 on the bass string, and then pull off that 5 that I had on the middle string. Okay? I'm going to do it one more time for you. This is a really cool technique, but sometimes it takes a little while to wrap your head around it. Okay, isn't that cool? All right. All right, let's look at the second part, the B section. And at any point in time, I would, if you need to, I really want to suggest that you stop this video and play those sections over and over again and then start the video again. Someone's calling on my landline. Okay, let's start that B section. This is the one that starts immediately with that weird twisty thing that I was talking about. I think what I'm going to do on that is I'm going to use my 3 and my 4. I'm going to use my middle finger and my index. Then my 2 can be grabbed with my free and available third finger. Then I'll take that third finger down to the 1 and just let my index fall in on that middle string. In theory, that should work. Now, will I really do that when I'm playing it up to speed? I should, but will I? I don't know. That's one of those things I'm going to have to do a lot of muscle memory work on just to make sure that I always play it that same way. So I take these 2 fingers, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1, open, okay? And that's going to put me in line for my 2, 4 because I'm just going to come right back up here for my 2, 4 in that next measure. All right, let's try this second section. Okay, pray for me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Now, the second to the last measure that I just played, that 3, 5, 4, down to the 1, 3, 0, I wasn't real happy with the way that turned out because I ended up down here using my pinky on that 1, and my pinky was going, I can't do it! And I was going, yes, you can, come on, pinky. I think I'm going to probably keep it that way and just give a pep talk to my pinky each time because this 3, 5 seemed very intuitive. 3, 5 to the 4, 1, 3, but then see how my pinky is hanging right above that 1? It's like, I've got this, and then part of me's going, no you don't, you can... Okay, so big pep talk to the pinky. He's got to come down strong on that 1, all right? All right, let's try it again. This is the beginning of the B section. Pull off. Pull off. Rest. Way to go, pinky. Repeat. Pull off. Here's the whole thing from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. pinky out there. Repeat. Come on, pinky. Okay, very good. Woo, I gotta practice that one. Now, at this point in time, you are going to select a lead player from your group. And as soon as you play that last note, the lead player is gonna go. Okay, the lead player is gonna start setting you up to do the fast version, also known as the simple version and the slightly advanced version of Angelina Baker. So you've all very thoughtfully played this really cool slow intro. And then the lead player goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Okay, now that's our goal, that speed on the simple and the slightly advanced version. When you play that fast, what you have done is you have trained your right hand just to turn on the boom diddy machine, and your left hand's going to throw the notes down for you. You stop thinking about this guy and you just play. Now there's a huge amount of work that's going to go in between the way I played that for you when we first started this lesson and the way I just now played it. And what you've got to do is you've got to be very, very, very religious in the way you practice it. Go back and play it as slowly as you need to on that first whatever beats per minute we had it on, 60 something maybe, forgotten already, and speed it up each time. Every time you play it perfectly. So you play it that fast, then turn it up one little notch on your metronome device or your click track, and then you keep going up faster and faster and faster until all of a sudden you've hit the wall and you can't play it that fast anymore. That's when you got to slow it down and start challenging that number that's giving you fits, okay? All right, gang, you can do this. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and again, visit karabarner.com if you want a hard copy of this lesson, okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.